remind me, why did I decide to do this again?
Master James, are you such a fool to be blinded by mine? Tell me not that you have not heard of the codes, my young friend.
You believe you can grasp what is happening, don't you?
Ow! They're just fusing you. How can you not see that?
Don't ruin this for me!
James, you shouldn't have come.
I will not speak of such things with you!
Your world deserves its doom.
So who's the guy that died? The guy that did the New Frontiers cartoon?
Dwayne McDuffie. He was a writer on Justice League Unlimited, and like the regular Justice League series. And he did some comic book work. He was part of. I don't know if you remember, but back in the '90s, I believe it was the early '90s. He was one of the co-founders of Milestone Comics. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember Milestone.
That was like the African American superhero line that DC put out.
Yep, Icon and
and Static Shock.
Yeah, I used to like those.
When it used to be Static before Static Shock, that was the cartoon, and then there was Hardware. I liked that one. That one was cool.
That was cool, and then there was the kind of the gang.
Like the Blood Syndicate or something like that. They were called, I think.
That's exactly what it was.
Something like that. Yeah, that was a cool series. It wasn't like, we're black and that's all this is about. Right. It was like they were actually strong characters that were just happened to be black. I mean, it wasn't like we're using our black thing as a gimmick. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
The stories were pretty tight. It was good writing, good artists. So it was pretty solid.
Yeah.
They actually had a crossover with if you ever saw it. It was like the Milestone universe versus or teaming up with the Justice League.
Yeah, I owned it. It had the stick-ons, or what do you call them? The magic stick-ons was the cover. Do you remember that?
Oh, shit, no. What was it, like stickers, or?
No, remember the old plastic magic?
Like Shrinky Dinks?
No. You'd get like a background page or whatever, and then you'd take these little characters and stuff, and then you could stick them on there, you could take them off.
Like color forms?
That might have been it.
Yeah, they were like I remember back in the day, like having the G.I. Joe, it was like a cardboard background of like a battle scene. You could take a guy, a soldier, and just kind of like stick him on there, and then take him off later if you wanted to, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Color forms. What am I going to do?
What else is going on?
Nothing else, dude. Really, just the same old pretty much. I'm doing like a bunch of side projects, like working on a couple of zines and going old school, and with a few friends of mine. Believe it or not, I'm like really into this right now. We're doing a Police Academy zine because me and my friend Adam are like huge Police Academy fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're in the midst of doing a whole bunch of info gathering and then trivia and all kinds of stuff. So hopefully we'll be able to put out at least like a 40-page zine. We're hoping. So because we're just fans and no one else has done it. So, and there are a lot of us deranged people out there. So I know you like the first two, right?
What's that?
You like the first two movies, right?
Yeah, the first two were good.
Yeah.
Then they kind of just got...
I mean, Citizens on Patrol was good, too. That was good shit. It was just so stupid, but it was good stupid, You got all these, like old ladies joining up and stuff. Let's take back our neighborhood.
I remember they had a cartoon and they had a TV series, too.
Yes, they had a shortly-lived TV series, shortly-lived cartoon, and they also had a toy line for this cartoon series, which included a line of Shrinky Dinks. Oh. So there you go. It all comes back to the circle of life. Yeah. So where is this guy located?
California.
I thought he was out in England because you think like Harry Potter, you immediately think England. Like.
That would be a question you can ask. I think they're all, fake accents.
There's one member of the squad there. Essentially, he's an Irish brogue.
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Maybe it'll be because his son maybe was raised in America or something, or I don't know. We'll see. I'll ask him that.
Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Is this Kellen?
This is Isaias.
Hey, Isaias. How are you, man?
Good. Who am I speaking to?
It is. This is Chris Mosier.
Hey, this is Fanboy Will. How you doing, buddy?
I'm very good. Thank you.
All right. I'm actually not familiar. What part of the film are you? Are you one of the actors, or are you part of the writing crew? Or?
Me? Oh, I did the music for the film.
Oh, because I was going to say that was actually going to be one of my things I want to bring up tonight, the musical scores in the films. So did you go to school at all for the music, or are you just kind of self-taught, or?
Well, I started playing piano when I was about 15.
Wow.
And while I was raised in Argentina, I lived there with my family, and then I moved back in 2002. And like around high school, I started playing some instruments, and I got really involved in it.
Wow.
Wasn't really able to afford any like formal lessons or conservatory training, so yeah, pretty much is everything I've had to learn on my own, and I've probably started composing about maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
And yeah, no, right now I'm in my first year in university, and I'm studying composition, so that's my aim.
That's cool. Where are you going to school?
I'm here at a school called York University. It's like right north of Toronto. It's not that far, but it's a great school for music.
Cool.
Now, what kind of your music is very instrumental, so obviously you kind of
yeah. Well, I play piano primarily, but in terms of music, yeah, I do a lot of film scores and orchestral stuff, and that's what I really focus on.
What's the tools that you use?
I use well, I'm Mac-based. I'm using Logic and sometimes Pro Tools and a few other softwares, but mainly Logic Pro for Mac. So.
Okay, those are computer programs, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were sorry. Yeah, they're pretty much music softwares where I just play everything on the keyboard. So, say for the James Potter soundtrack, everything that you hear is actually an electronic instrument. Everything I recorded individually on the keyboard and made it out as a full orchestral score.
Can you guys hear me?
Is this Kellen?
Yeah, this is Kellen.
Hey, it's about time, man.
Hey!
Forever. Oh my God.
Somebody give this guy a late pass.
Hey, Kellen, it's Isaias.
Hi. How you
You're
doing?
paying my phone bill.
We've been plotting your murder for the last 5 minutes.
Oh, fun. Can I join?
Yes.
All right, we're talking with Mr. Kellen William Gibbs, and he's the director-producer of Harry Potter fan film.
Related.
About a character called James Potter. I talked to Kellen before, back in November 2009, I do believe.
Yep.
And then Isaias Garcia composed the film, and he's with us as well. And we're going to talk about that film that premieres. It's going to premiere at your local high school this coming Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm. Actually, at the auditorium, down the middle school auditorium.
Okay.
All right.
It was written by Mister George Norman Lippert. He actually did a fan fiction. It's a fan fiction series. He did a trilogy of books, and Kellen did the first film that was released last year on YouTube, and then you've got the second one that's coming out on Saturday. When's it going to be online?
It'll be online on Saturday.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, cool.
Uh-huh.
Now, do you have any aspirations to do the third one?
Well, we want to, but the thing is, cast members are moving away to college, so it's going to be hard, and I don't want to have to get new cast members because I love the cast we're using.
Yeah, it's always a bad thing when you have to kind of to just settle for someone else.
Yeah.
You know, it's not exactly the same.
And then having someone else step into someone else's shoes.
Yeah, that's hard.
Can't do it on summer break or anything?
I wish, but it's too big of a book.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with the books. I'm familiar with the Harry Potter films. I'm completely, I was telling Isaiah earlier, unfamiliar with the James Potter stuff. So you guys have to kind of baby step up, me and Chris through it and tell us what's what, because we really don't know that much at all about it.
Okay.
Do you guys just want to give this as quickly like a brief summary of the James Potter series? Could you just do like a brief, quick summary?
Let's see. James Potter is Harry Potter's firstborn son.
Okay.
And in the first one, he is the whole story is based around him being in the shadow of his father.
Okay.
And it leads in the end to this famous wizard, everyone knows him, Merlin, coming back to life, and James tries to stop it throughout the whole first one, but ends up failing. But it kind of has a weird twist on it where Merlin isn't really bad like they think he is. He's kind of undecided at the point.
He's kind of like almost like Gary Oldman in the Harry Potter films.
Yeah, you think he's evil, and then you're like, oh, he's good. And,
right.
But the thing about the second one is, in this one, Merlin everyone's questioning him whether he's good or not, and like James believes he's good, and he fights for him, like telling them that he's good and he's not going to betray them or everything, and then he I had a brain fart. People start to come up with these speculations about this so-called curse of the Gatekeeper, and it's about this thing that Merlin brought back with him when he came back through the void, and that's what the whole premise of the story is trying to figure out what this Gatekeeper is, and if it's evil, and if Merlin's evil, and how they're going to stop it if they are.
Okay. Another question I had is basically, how does the cast of characters, would you call them maybe similar to the Harry Potter series, or completely different, or, maybe kind of like, rub-offs or whatever? Are there any descendants, like, from the actual characters besides Harry Potter? Are there, say, like, other characters' descendants in the film at all?
Well, I would say as far as the characteristics go, a lot of the characters, it's based around their sons and daughters, and we have some of the old cast coming back into it, or not old cast, but old characters coming back into it. Like we have Harry Potter in here, and Jenny Weasley, and then we get some new characters like Rose Weasley, and we have Scorpius Malfoy and Albus.
Oh, cool.
And I can say there's a lot of similarities between Rose and Hermione, and James and Harry, and Albus and Harry.
Okay.
So, yeah, they're a lot alike in a lot of ways.
Well, that's cool.
Well, let's get Isaiah into the picture. And how did you hook up with this guy?
Well, Isaiah, I contacted him through email or through YouTube because I saw some of his Harry Potter soundtracks he had been working on. Like he was working on this Deathly Hallows soundtrack, just a fan-made one, and I saw it, and it was really good. So I contacted him because at the time we needed a composer for the first film. And so we contacted him, and he got back to me and said he would, I think he asked me some questions about it, and then finally we agreed on him doing it, and then he was thrown into this film, but he wasn't able to fully compose for the first one. He was only able to do a couple themes and then use some of the music he used for his Harry Potter soundtrack for the first one. But in this one, he has scored the whole entire thing, and he's done a brilliant job at it.
Okay.
I was saying earlier, I mean, it's absolutely, I consider it incredible. It sounds just like the original kind of music. It's in the same vein, kind of has similar notes, but it is taking its own direction. But it definitely has that feel to it. I felt like I was listening to actually a real Harry Potter score. It was that good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, I think what he's saying is Isaiah did a couple pieces for the first film.
Yes.
But he fully scored the second
Fully
one.
did the second, yeah.
So when you're saying it sounded like the Harry Potter soundtrack. Was it the Harry Potter soundtrack that was in most of that first film?
Well, it was all Isaiah's work in the first one, but it wasn't.
Okay.
He only composed, I think it was 3 scores or 4 scores for the movie, and then I used some of the
misunderstood. I misunderstood. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, I can probably elaborate a bit more on that. Sorry, I've been kind of out of the loop.
Go for it, man.
So yeah, pretty much about almost 2 years ago, after reading the Deathly Hallows novel, I was so enthralled by it, and that same year I was just working and preparing for university auditions that as a hobby I thought that, why not create a composition for every chapter in the book? And what started out as just a personal thing, just to get some practice in composition, quickly became very popular on YouTube, and people were asking me to make more of these soundtracks, and as long as I wasn't selling them, then it was okay.
Right.
So then what now has become almost a 2-year project, and I have over 18 I've done 18 of the major chapters in Deathly Hollows of all these fan-made orchestral soundtracks, which have, I mean, if you visit my YouTube, it's become quite popular. And I mean, these are one of the things that you never anticipate to be this big. I mean, even so, say for example, the Harry Potter books, right? You know, when they first came out, nobody ever anticipated that they would be this big. And yeah, so once I did this, and then Kellen contacted me about this James Potter and the Hall of Elders Crossing, and immediately I went on George Lippert's site and started reading the online novels. And I really liked the novels, and I thought, hey, you know, this would be another good opportunity to just kind of be a part of that Harry Potter, you know, universe. I mean, for me as a young composer, it would be a dream to actually get to compose the films, and I think this is pretty close.
I'm telling you, man, you're not too far off. You're really not.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it's I guess it shows in the music because I really love the series, right? And I think
that always helps. The passion.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, nobody wants to take on a project that they don't necessarily like unless it's for the money. But since there is no money here, I mean, just the passion and the sheer enjoyment of, you know, working with people. And Kellen and I, having never met personally, we've just been working through the internet. It's
right.
You know, we've been able to do all of this through the internet for the past year, and it's worked out pretty nicely. And yeah, I mean, this film and the first one gave me the opportunity to kind of, you know, recreate the theme, right? So for James Potter, I wanted to keep the theme as close as to Harry as much as I could. So, you know, the main melody, which is pretty hummable and it's pretty memorable, it's got little snippets, and it's very similar to that of Harry Potter's, but it's unique in its own way. So just wanting to tie in that father-son relationship in the film, rather than creating something completely out of the norm. And, you know, I wanted to keep that continuity between the soundtracks from the actual Harry Potter films into these.
It's kind of like, as a kind of a comparison, it's almost like if you're familiar with Smallville, they're just kind of starting to introduce notes and a little bit of the Superman theme into the Smallville music now. Now that he's getting closer and closer to being Superman. But it kind of getting a little more, you know, it was John Williams in the score a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and that's the beauty of continuity, right? I mean, subconsciously, the audience might not be able to pick it up, but you know that there's something vaguely familiar about that melody, right? So,
like the true fans know. They go, oh, wait a minute, you know, wow, I know that, you know.
I wanted to add something to that, Isaiah. One of our actors, Jonathan Vanderhorst, who plays Ralph in the series, he was over at my house, and we were looking through some of the footage, and he started whistling your song, and I was like, wait, are you whistling what I think you're whistling? It was really funny.
Yeah, no, I mean, so, no, I'm really glad that you guys have liked the soundtrack, and, you know, and just, for me, as long as you guys get the message behind every score and every scene, and that's the main purpose, right? But no, I definitely feel it's very gratifying to get the recognition for this kind of, you know, because I put in just like Kellen put in so many hours into making a fan film for this, as in myself having to, you know, apart from work and this past year, just you know, being busy at my first year in university, to be able to set that many hours just to work on the soundtrack, right? And just to be a part of this film that, you know, whether 100 or 1,000 people see it, it's just the fact that, you know, it shows that how we want to continue this Harry Potter culture, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. That's the beauty of fan films. You could do that. You could do exactly that. And you don't have to wait for Hollywood to come along and possibly fuck it up. You know what I mean? You do it yourself, and you're passionate about the stories and the films. So you just go, you know what? I'm going to go out and do my own thing. And you guys did that, and it's quite impressive in both the films and the score. As I was saying before, it's all pretty incredible work.
Yeah, thanks. Well, I mean, you got to start small, right?
It's not easy, you know. Like Harry's, you know, his wand isn't easy to pick up. Or I don't know, try some stupid analogy, but it's, you know, it's not easy to do a film about magic because you know, when you're doing the effects and the sound effects and the visual effects and the CGI, that kind of stuff is not easy to do for like a Harry Potter film where there's so many, people transforming and bolts shooting out of wands and stuff like that. So who helped you out with the CGI work?
Well, George Lippert, the author, actually is a animator, and I did most of the CGI. Sorry, there's a baby in the background. I did most of the CGI myself, and then George animated one of the. I think you might have seen it if you saw some of the trailers. The skeleton that. I was
going to say that skeleton was pretty incredible. It was like Clash of the Titans,
I love it. I just got those last shots right before I started finalizing the film, and it was just wow. I wasn't expecting something like that.
Right. Everybody who's listening, go check out that trailer. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he does some amazing stuff. I've seen some of his promos and stuff.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
He does a lot of the promos for the books too.
I mean, that's his job. That's his full-time job is doing animation.
Yeah, and I mean, well, going back to the whole how difficult it must be to create sound effects and CGI for a movie about magic, right? Like for me, as a composer, usually most of the films that I've been doing for the film department at my university have been either horror or kind of like action films, so they don't necessarily require that much CGI or effects. So this is a great opportunity to kind of like do something different.
Right.
I have to say, one of the big things we used in this movie was green screen. And there was a ton of green screen in this movie, and that's a lot of editing in itself right there. You have to, replace the backgrounds with certain things. In this, we have, we have what's called this tower that they go on in Hogwarts when James, don't want to give too much away, but he travels through a mirror, and it goes back in time. And he has to meet up with one of the Founding Four and starts, dueling and everything. And he goes on this tower, and we had to, create this whole background and add spells and whatnot, things exploding. So there's a lot of cool stuff in that scene.
Yeah, Chris just started screwing around with the green screen, right, Chris?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. I love it.
It's fun. It could take forever to learn, everything. It's insane. It takes a lot of time, doesn't it, Kellen?
Yeah, absolutely.
I keep telling him he's going to do a Star Wars porno or something in his basement one of these days.
I think Kevin Smith already did that.
Green screen. Yeah, exactly.
What did you, Kellen? What did you take away from the first film? I mean, to be critical, there's some
flaws,
editing issues that I see. Definitely some sound issues. What did you take away from the first one where you learned for the second one?
Well, you mentioned two of the things that I looked at. We got a different camera. I just got a new camera, and the audio is a lot better. And then because I've been getting a lot of comments on YouTube that said, "Oh, your audio, it needs to be fixed. Voice it over, stuff like that." So that's one of the flaws we fixed. And then also editing. My new camera is a lot more crisp than the other one. It doesn't have all the pixels in it, and it's easier to edit certain things out of there and put certain things in and match it up. And I've tried to extend my editing skills out to further, to make it the best that I can make it. And I just continued to work on it, and I started making this film, and I wrote the script, and I looked at it and went, "Oh, George is going to have to help me out with a lot of this stuff because I can't do it." And in the end, George only ended up having to help me out with the skeleton, and I did all the other stuff. So it's pretty amazing to see that.
So did the original author himself really dig what you guys did, or
did
he contribute in any way, or
he posted on his James Potter book Facebook, and we're on his website in one of the sections. It says "Go to the film" or something like that.
Right.
And he really supports it. He's been helping us along the way.
That's great.
He's actually he does part of the narrator in this one.
Oh, cool.
If you saw the first one, there's a long narration scene, which is one of those little things that I had to fix in this one, because we only did a certain section of the book, which was the end section, and it was half an hour, so we needed to fill everybody in on what happened before. But
right, yeah, the beginning narration with the dolls.
Yeah.
This kind of slowly scrolling through the hall of the dolls there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And in this one, we wanted to give it the same feel that we had in the first one because we didn't want to change anything, so that it had that, you want that reoccurring feel. If you go back and change everything, then everyone, they start to second guess everything, and it just kind of messes it up. So we wanted to keep it, but we didn't want to overdo it like we did last time. So we kept a narrator in there, but only for little lines in it. It wasn't like a long thing. I think he's only at the beginning and at the end. So, and it's not that much. So
to have him in there at all is cool. To have an actual, the creator of what you're basing your work on. That's got to be the ultimate honor.
I love it. Yeah.
For a fan, that's great.
It's kind of a weird situation too, because he's doing fan fiction, and then Kellen's doing the fan film of the fan fiction.
Did you guys really stick to the actual story for the script, or did you like radically change it, or did you kind of stick pretty close to it?
Well, see, it gets kind of confusing because when I start making the movie and everything, I start to believe that the story I'm creating is the same story in the book, like exactly like how the book flows.
Right.
And then I remembered back when I wrote the script, I had to change certain things because we had to cut out things for time length and stuff like that. So in this, I went back. I think it was like last night. I was reading through while my computer was editing or finalizing the movie, and I was reading certain scenes out of the book and went, "Whoa! I totally changed that." It was pretty funny. But we keep it connected. The story flows at the same level, but we had to change the order of certain things just so that it all made sense because we cut out some characters and had to cut out some certain parts. And if we would have kept it how it was, it would have kind of jumped back and forth. So
that's why the Harry Potter series took so long. So many films. There's so many characters.
I know.
And you have to do all these little kind of mini inter-stories.
Yeah.
In there with Harry, and so it took so long. And I was just joking around with Chris earlier going, the end of the last film, it's such a cliffhanger. You're just like, oh, man, come on. The whole theater was like, son of a bitch when it ended. Like suddenly, you're all like sad about some certain character, no spoiler, passing away. And then all of a sudden, it just ends abruptly, and you're like, oh, man.
Yeah,
but that's great. They're probably rubbing their hands together, get ready for that more money coming in for the next movie going.
Oh, exactly.
They'll be back. Like some seedy drug dealer. They'll be back for more. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. It's addictive stuff, Chris, so watch yourself if you start to get into it.
Yeah.
I'm just warning him because he's like a rookie, so it gets a little addictive.
Sit down and watch all the movies.
And James Potter as well it's just like, or not just like, it has its own spin on it, but it has that same feel as Harry Potter, and you just get into it and you just can't stop reading,
You get the bug and that's it. You're hopeless after that. I always joke around and say that to people. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun read. It's great characters, and I can't believe where the story came from. It's pretty incredible. Right there, like it's. Her story, the author's story, is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So she had to overcome a lot of adversities and stuff. So maybe you guys could do her fan film one day, a story of her life or something.
Yeah.
Do one of those. Maybe she'll take part in the film with you guys. Who knows?
Scored by Isaias Garcia.
Send you some of that money. That'd be nice.
I think I asked you this the last podcast. I'm not sure if I did or not. You haven't had any correspondence or anything from her camp, right? I don't think George has either. Actually,
I think George, a long time ago when he first started the books, had to talk to her agent. I think. I believe so. You can't quote me on that, but I think that's what happened. And I know he's had some talks with like some WB people because people started thinking that his books were the actual continuation of the Harry Potter series and was written by J.K. Rowling, because I believe I wasn't there when this started happening because I got into the books after we found out that George was writing them. But he posted it online, I think, with not saying who he was, so everyone was saying, "Oh, it's J.K. Rowling, it's J.K. Rowling," and then there was like this whole controversy, and then he had to publicly say, I'm not making any money off of this and all that stuff.
Right.
That's the sad song of the fan filmmaker. I'm not making many money off of this stuff.
Yeah.
But
but it's a good resume piece. I mean, for Isaias,
of course,
it's a good resume piece for him.
And it's made some great contacts. I mean,
there you go.
I've contacted George. I've got in contact with a lot of other fans and helpers, and then Isaias, of course.
Got this guy Isaiah over there. He does a mean musical score.
And I'm hoping someday him and I work on a film together outside of the fan fiction world. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, well, networking, right? I mean, this is how I kind of like. It's funny. Like a few months ago, Kellen and I were talking through online through the live chat, and we were just saying, oh, you know how John Williams and Spielberg met, right? They met at just like a party, and they started working on their first film together, and that just kind of built for like a good working relationship and for a filmmaker and a composer. And I thought, you know, this could be something similar, you know, and who knows, we'll get to maybe in the future we'll get to remake the Harry Potter series, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Harry Potter in 3D.
Good mindset.
No, they have 3D now. Holograms.
I was saying they put like everything in 3D now as a joke earlier. It's like a court drama. What the hell do I need this in 3D for? The judge's fucking gavel is like in my face. Like, whoa.
Hey, watch it there, man.
We don't need everything in 3D. We don't need that.
I know. They got those new 3D TVs coming out. Those look pretty cool, though.
I'm telling you, where are the flying cars? That's what I'm looking for.
I know. Actually, no. I was going to say, I thought I saw one of those, but, you know.
When the first James
I did
Potter
too. It was too many drugs for me back in the day. It was actually a very large bird. I was mistaken.
I was just saying that in the first James Potter book, there are flying cars there. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
Sadly enough,
yeah.
We didn't get to add.
Oh, that's right, and Harry Potter too.
Yeah.
Yep. That's right.
So they do exist, just in you know.
Maybe we can have a Back to the Future meets Harry Potter, kind of a crossover. We'll have the DeLorean, you know.
Yeah.
Flying around with Harry driving the DeLorean.
Harry, we need to go back.
We gotta go back in time, Harry. Hey, wait a minute, you're not Marty.
And I also saw, Kellen, on your Facebook, actually, I saw this morning that your local news agency is trying to get a hold of you. You get a lot of press out of this.
Oh, just lately we've been getting a lot because my dad's been helping me get in contact with newspapers, all the TV stations, because we're trying to make the local premiere, as big as we can get it.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to be going on the news channel tomorrow in the morning and going to go talk about my thing.
Very cool. You should send us when you get the footage. Are you going to post it on YouTube right away, or?
Anytime I get it, I'm going to post it as soon as I can.
Yeah, that's really cool stuff. We'll definitely, me and Chris will put it on our respective sites.
Nice.
And say, look at this guy. Look at this guy go. We talked to.
Yeah.
Why can't we be him?
I know, right? Oh, man. Oh, shucks. One of these days, Chris.
Yeah.
79 shows later.
Yeah.
For the love of God. I can't believe we've made it this far, Chris.
Me neither.
I can't believe it. I'm getting teary-eyed, kind of.
Okay, I'll grab a tissue box for you.
Yes, thank you.
When did you guys start podcasting together?
Chris, what was that first one that was so damn
February 2008, I think.
Something like that, right? Like the end of 2007, beginning of 2008.
Oh, cool.
Seems longer, though. Seems like a lot long ago. Well, it's a lot of shows. You know, most of our shows run basically from 45 minutes to over some 2 hours have been.
Yeah,
so
it's a lot of work.
So it's a lot of airtime, a lot of speaking, a lot of long wind, a lot of hot air, and a lot of fan film watching, a lot of beer swigging, me and Chris. And Chris drinking his vodka. You know? Mm-hmm. But we don't encourage that with the young folks like you guys. We believe in pickling our own livers because we're older, we're over the hill. So it's over for us. You guys can live your dreams, but we're washed up.
We have no aspirations.
Exactly. I'm in the gutter of my own piss and shit right now. But you guys can just go on and make your dreams come alive.
Yeah. We'll just sit back and watch.
Yes.
What's that?
Oh, I said that's what we're shooting for.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I knew those guys. I talked to them on the radio show. Like, you don't know them, you crazy drunk old man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We're having a big premiere over here, and it looks like there's going to be a lot of people.
Very cool, man. I definitely want to see footage, and I want to see the interviews and all that good stuff.
It's going to be online. Ellen said it's going to be online Saturday at the same time that they premiere it at the school there.
Well, a little different. At the school, here, our time, it's going to be around 6:30 at night. But online, because we have international fans, we're premiering it at noon. But there's going to be interviews before with cast members and everything. We're all going to meet up at my house, and we're going to sit down and talk with cast members, and we're going to have Isaias there and George, which they won't be here, but they'll be on camera. I
was going to say, like, how many of the original cast members are going to be there in the crew? Is everyone going to be there, or?
I wanted to bring back Mr. Brandon McClure, but he's off at college. He played Theodore Jackson in the last one. And I also invited Jade Hodge, who played Delacroix in the last one, too. But they both were busy, which was really sad, because I wanted to see them back, you know. Which we will see little shots and pieces of them in this one.
What kind of excuse is college? Jesus.
I know.
Let's go to college. College.
What a waste of time.
I know, right? Telling you, man.
Your dad actually was didn't he play Merlin in the first one?
Oh, yeah, and he plays Merlin in this one, too.
That's great to have a supportive dad like that. That's awesome.
It was really funny because in the first one, he has this really small role. I mean, he's all talked about, and he's like the main focus of the movie, but he only is in like 2 scenes, I think, and it's really short dialogue. And then I hand him the script of the second one and say, look at it, you're in it a lot. He says, okay. So he looks at it and goes, I have all these monologues? What are you talking about? I can't do this. So
I'm going to really screw this one up.
Your parents are actually in the industry, right? They're actually actors.
Who, my family?
Yeah.
No, they're not.
No?
My dad is, he works at a local radio station. He's production director at a local radio station, which he's helped me a lot because he's really good with editing sound. So he's been working on the sound for us and fixing it, because in the last one we had problems where people would say they had trouble hearing it, not only from the quality, but just from like levels of music and stuff.
Yeah, like the air and the mic and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I've been sending it to him, and he's been fixing the levels so that they're understandable and clear, and just making everything nice and crisp and ready to go.
It's cool because you get to see a lot of, especially in the fan film community and world, you see actually quite a lot of father-son teams. Like, I'd say probably a really good example would be, the guys familiar with Aaron Schoenke's Batman fan films?
Do you do some podcast with him?
He did, he did Patient J, Batman Legends, and the new one, what's the new one there, Chris? It's Batman...
City of Scars.
City of Scars.
I might have seen it because I was looking through some of your old podcasts, and I might have seen it. I don't know if it was him or not.
It's pretty incredible stuff, but his father actually does the musical scores for the films.
Oh, nice.
And he's the director, and his father is, I don't know if Isaiah, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm here.
All right. If you get a chance, go check out his films, because his music is really great, and I know you would appreciate it.
Yeah, what's the name?
You can just go to the official website. It's batinthesun.com. That's the name of his production company, Bat in the Sun.
batinthesun.com, all right.
Yeah, so you can check out those films.
Well, Isaiah he does a lot of piano. His dad does. That's like the whole score. It's like a piano composition.
Right.
Kind of got that eerie, Batman kind of a feel to it, because it's the old school piano. And
yeah, I'm on their website right now. Like I see some of the pictures, and it definitely seems like
it's pretty wild stuff.
Yeah, I should definitely check this out sometime soon. Yeah.
So have you guys? Do you guys watch any other, or are you fans of any other Harry Potter fan films that are out there right now?
There are others.
There's quite a few Harrys. Yeah, there's quite a few Harrys. I don't know about James, but
I've seen a couple of them on YouTube. I mean, because I go on and I search Harry Potter and whatnot, and I want to see if there's anything else. Like, I don't know if you'd say competing, but like just out there also in the Harry Potter world. And I've seen a few.
I mean, there's the Harry Potter the musical, the
the
Potter
a
Pop
Harry
It,
Potter musical or something like that, I think.
There's a whole bunch of stuff on YouTube that's really, really cool. A person on YouTube has also made kind of like Sims 2 Harry Potter chapters, and but I mean it's really great because you kind of see this. They're all the same story. It's just that they look so different because they're from these other so many different people that have their personal views and interpretations of the book. So
that's the beauty of it, with the fan film medium. It's like your own pile of clay to play with. Just make it whatever you want.
Really interesting to see.
Oh, sorry. Go on, Isaias.
No, I was just gonna add to in terms of fan film. I've seen just recently. I saw this Street Fighter trailer fan film, and it was really, really well done. It almost looked like it was an actual feature film production.
Oh yeah, that's probably the one with Ryu and Ken. They're showdown in the woods there.
Yes, that's exactly it.
It's very cool. Yeah, I forget. Chris, do you remember the name of that again?
Nope. Street Fighter High.
That's the one we interviewed those guys.
Right.
And that's pretty cool stuff. It's really funny. It's like a parody.
I know the movie he's talking about. I don't know
the name escapes me too. So we're old. We have that excuse, Chris.
Yeah, I can't remember.
What the hell's the name of that thing again?
I was thinking about it yesterday, and we had a different scriptwriter for the first film. It was a guy from Australia, and his name is Luca Bella, but he wasn't able to join us for this one. And he originally started writing the script, and then part of the way through he had to leave, and I lost all connection with him, and I never got any copy of the script or anything. He was just in the middle of writing it. So I had to start over and rewrite it. And then a little while after, he sends me the script that he had, and I look at it and I go, whoa, this is totally different from what I had, It's kind of cool to see the interpretations you could get. And I was thinking about how if any other director had done it and the different angles they would have taken on certain things, and just it could have had a totally different look to it, and we've created this, this one look that we have, It's kind of cool.
Street Fighter Legacy, that was the title.
What's that?
Sorry, Street Fighter Legacy, that was the title.
That would be it, yeah. He's doing some background info for us here.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm very keen on researching, so, well, I mean, but yeah, going back to the whole fan film thing, I think it's a growing community, and I think it's something that nobody would have, again, anticipated, a few years back, and now with the birth of, with the growth of YouTube and Facebook and whatnot, it's just, you could pretty much make a full film in the comforts of your home, and and not necessarily have a huge budget, and still come out with something creative and interesting that people may or may not enjoy. But regardless, you're expressing your creative art. So
you've summed it up, my friend. That's the beauty. That's the whole, that's the whole draw. I guess the main draw me and Chris have to it and have had for from the jump start.
And for me, I wouldn't be surprised if the future film directors and producers of Hollywood films and are in fact people who have made fan films.
We've had people move on that we've known to do stuff like that, to do either work behind the scenes on a Hollywood film, or to do a score, or work on a score, or so there has been quite a few people that have, to encourage you guys to keep it up, that have made it, and
absolutely.
It's not an impossibility. As long as you do the hard work, put in the time and the heart and the effort, and like we always say, it always shows when there's heart in our project, and there's effort, and there's teamwork, and it all gels together into one successful final product, which is your fan film. So
definitely, yeah.
That's pretty much the definition of a fan film right there. Putting that heart, blood, sweat, and tears in there.
What do you guys think? I've had a kind of a debate on one of my Facebook posts there as far as the role of Hollywood. This would be a good question for some young filmmakers. As far as the independent film, I'm thinking maybe 5, 10, maybe 15 years in the future, Hollywood would be more of a distribution kind of network. And then, the guys and gals like you will be making the movies. Because, the way the economy's going, Hollywood isn't spending the gazillions and gazillions of dollars that they used to.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a movie here and there, but not as much as they used to. So where do you think, as far as the independent movie people like yourself, will be moving to in the future?
Well, I just went to a filming with, I'm not gonna say any names, but I went to this filming that was pretty professional, and I went there and I was just watching and I was supposed to be helping out, and I was watching them put together everything, and I realized there was a lot of people doing nothing. When, like, with my film, it's like get to the place, get everything ready, and go, And as I was watching it, I was going, wow, we could be doing this a lot faster, And I was thinking, like, there's a lot of I think as far as what I do, I always work on a fast-paced schedule, and it's not. I mean, I think Hollywood is filled with, like, a lot of people. Not to bash it or anything, but I think it's filled with some useless spots. You know what I mean?
A lot of farting around.
Yeah, I think that movies can be done. I mean, quite professionally without as many like people around. You know what I mean? Like independent films, you don't have the budget to be doing certain types of stuff. You don't have the person there just standing there watching.
Like assistant gaffers, best boys, second cousin's roommate. Like
yeah.
Plus, you don't have the like producers up your butt either. The suits up your butt.
Yeah, and I was just watching that, and we got there for filming at around 11 o'clock, and we didn't start filming until around 5 in the night. And I looked at it and I said, I could have been ready to go film in like 2 hours,
Man, you got to get up and go. You've been doing so much of that Red Bull business.
I mean, look at. I guess what I mean is look at like a movie. I don't think it was a great movie. I don't even think it was a good movie. Paranormal Activity. It was made for like $15,000-$20,000 or something ridiculous like that. Made millions.
Uh-huh.
Hollywood distributed it.
Right.
I'm thinking in the future that's what's going to happen. Independent people like Kellen are going to be making these movies, and then Hollywood, their business is going to be distributed. So that was basically my question.
Oh, I could see that. I think I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what is Hollywood doing? Remakes of old.
Exactly. That's rampant right now.
It's just everything that's coming out of there is mostly crap.
Rehashed. It's like Hollywood's like lost its imagination.
It kind of feels like that sometimes.
Like, what are we gonna do? Make a remake of something.
I mean, there's that couple of movies that you look at and you go, oh, I want to see that, and then there's those other ones where you just go,
Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
Too much these days. It's the problem.
Yeah, well, I was just going to add to that. I was going to add to what Kellen was saying. I mean, just with everything else in the world today, everything is becoming so much more independent. Then I think that, I agree that, Hollywood will become much more of will play more of a distributor role. And, whereas, say, 100 years ago in Hollywood, when each studio had its own team of people working. So, say like a composer working in Universal could only work in Universal. And, they would make movies and they would make all the decisions on what to distribute it, which theaters to showcase, and, who to hire. And those would be the people that they would work with. And I think now, because of the economy and because of the availability, the more people making more films at a cheaper price, and also having the potential to make millions. And I think it's eventually Hollywood will probably just become Universal. I mean, in the sense that everybody around the world will be making films, and and then
please turn me back on, please.
Sorry, it's just somebody talking behind me. That it would just be more independent, and and I think also what Kellen was saying of people staying in the studios, how more people in the film industry are also becoming much more multi-talented, so you'll be taking more than one job at the same time.
Right.
And I think these are things that we're all learning right now, to multitask and to not just be experts in one craft, but to also be able to handle and work with different areas in the industry, right? And to and to also, you know, be able to deliver the final product.
Saves you a lot of money.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, you know, it seems like that's the direction that they're going to. And you know, for me, from a composer point of view, it's sad to see that how orchestras are slowly disappearing, and you have composers where they only bring, say, one cello and, you know, one of every instrument in the orchestra, and then later just record that one instrument, but later duplicate them in the computer so it makes it seem like it's a full orchestra, and that way they can save money, studio time, and all of the above, right? So, and I think and the reason and the way it's becoming much more commercial, it's also becoming less artistic. So that's why I think it'll be kind of like an uprising for independent filmmakers to make more independent films and to get them distributed. But also, I think from a music perspective, I think it's absolutely essential to keep the live orchestra alive. And
absolutely.
And that's certainly one of the goals that I want to do. Kind of like one of my aspirations. Kind of like in university where I am trying to gather a few of my friends to organize like sort of like an after school or after class student orchestra and actually do live scoring sessions for the film department. And, you know, we have all the tools and the resources, it's just nobody has been able to kind of step up and kind of get things organized and do something really cool and creative. So I think this is something that I want to do, not in just my school, but in Canada, but just to keep the live orchestra, you know, alive, so to speak.
Right.
Now, Isaias, is there anything you noticed, like, about the programs you use and the live orchestra that's, like, different?
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, obviously, I can tell. For the general audience, say, for example, a James Potter soundtrack, most people would say, oh, that was recorded by a live orchestra, and whereas it was not. I so happen to have invested a few of my dollars into pretty decent sound libraries that give me sounds that come pretty close, but not exactly. But it still pretty much provides a convincing sound, and I think a lot of filmmakers are relying on composers who can just work in the studio and not have to hire an orchestra, and they can just deliver a full score. For the orchestra, yeah, and you know, it's got its ups and downs, but I think for the sake of filmmaking and art, I think there's nothing can compare to, you know, the beauty of live sound.
No, definitely not. I mean, that's just the beautiful when you hear all the strings and the brass and everything together. It's just you can't really compare that at all.
Yeah, and I mean it's crazy. Like now you have composers coming and recording going to the soundstage and then recording each section separately. So you have, say, like the strings coming in one day and then the brass coming in the second day, and then they just mesh it up together. And I think it seems kind of odd because they're not performing together, and there's not much musicality going on, and it just seems very mechanical to me.
Yeah.
It's like they work off each other. The feeling is not there, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just that's what's absent, and I think that the more people do that, then you lose a sense of the art, and it's just eventually people start to consider it another job, and you don't want film or music to be considered a job, right? You want to have fun doing it, and and maybe get paid for what you do as well, but there's always fine lines between, and people can argue both ways.
That kind of makes me think about, like, as far as what we do a lot, like I said, a lot of green screen shots, but we only have like one wall for a green screen, so we have to do different shots for each person, so we have to go back and forth, and you don't get that connection between the actors. Well, as much as we can, but you don't really get them face to face as much, trying to act with each other through the scenes. You know what I mean? It's kind of like one-sided, and you have to really push the actors to try and figure out the emotions that they got to use for that. So
kind of like there's a gigantic spider over there with 8 heads. He's about to kill you. You have to have that emotion.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we were doing the scene with Farragon, which is the skeleton that George did, and we have a wooden stick with a tennis ball at the end of it. We have someone moving it around with their hands for certain shots. It's just really funny. Like, I remember I sent that scene to Isaias to have him score before we got the animation, and he's like, I like the tennis ball, you know?
Yeah, that was hilarious. I thought, I should have kept that for the bloopers.
Oh, hell yeah, that'd be great.
That pretty much summed up that visual of seeing a stick and a tennis ball representing a skeleton. Yeah. It just represents the work that we're going through, and even because we don't have a budget for it, we're still able to come up with creative ways to, do about these things.
I mean, even in Hollywood, people will have to react to things that aren't there.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they're still doing that in Hollywood, so it's not too far, from the mark. It's pretty close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fun. That scene was fun to do.
What do you got? So once the second Harry Potter film comes out there, what are you going to go into your original material now? Because that's what most fan film creators seem to branch out to. Of course, you'll do. And you're a young guy. You got tons of years to get that original stuff out there.
Well, I can't give too much away about the continuation of James Potter because I'm supposed to announce that at the live premiere. But because we have something up our sleeve that we're going to be talking about. But yes, I'm going to continue on with my own original work, which at the moment we're working on a series called Crisis, which is a zombie apocalypse film, but it kind of takes a different take on it. It's not the horror, gory film. It's more of like the emotions, almost like if you've seen like movies like, well, it's not out yet, but the Battle of Los Angeles and like those war movies, that those intense action thrillers. It has that type of feel in it. And it's pretty cool, and it's gaining a fan base rapidly.
Yeah, because I always say, this is my opinion, but I always say that I love a good zombie film, but the best part of a zombie film is the human element in the story.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not the monsters, the zombies. It's the people that are surviving and the friendships and the enemies they make.
Yeah,
exactly. The friendships they make, the enemies they make. Who's going to get along? Who's going to be thrown to the zombies? Who's going to be the hero? Who's going to be, the sacrifice and all those things. That's what makes it, a really great zombie film. It's between that and a schlocky piece of shit. There's a difference.
Yeah, it's funny because you pretty much summarized what we wanted to do with Crisis in what you just said right there.
It's the human stuff, because that's what we can't relate to being a Walking Dead person.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't. That'd be kind of cool if I could do that for a little while, but I'd try it out. But it's I want brains and all that, and I attack my mother and bite her head, and it's not a pretty scene. No. But it'd be interesting to see that for a little while. I'm gonna be a zombie for 20 minutes. So it's just like Harry Potter too. There's so much material to work with.
Oh yeah.
You could basically it's limitless.
The story is, I mean, there's so many things you can take out of it and create different types of stories and just branch off of it in many ways.
Right.
I think that's what I love about it so much, is it's so open.
Harry Potter's a lot of fun. It's a fun world to get in and do your own thing,
Yeah, she's created this world that it's not just this one story on these one characters. I mean, you have these side characters that can have their own lives and stuff like that,
Like, I'd love to see, like, a Ron Weasley movie. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting,
Just his take on everything.
Yeah, exactly. Like his side of the story and his, what he goes through in everyday life, being a student at Hogwarts and stuff like that.
Being Harry Potter's best friend,
Exactly. That's a tough role to fill, The guy's almost being murdered every 5 minutes by things, so it's kind of it's hard. It's a hard relationship to maintain.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of James Potter as well. Living in the shadow of your father.
Yeah.
That's basically the story of the first one, and then the second one. I mean, in the second one, you don't really. He's not as much surrounded in that whole shadow and trying to live up to his name, but I mean, in this one you get to see a different side of James. Like, we have love relationships between characters, we have some comedy in it, we have a lot of stuff in it that just it's just the story has widened so much from the first film. If you're looking at it from a film perspective and not a book perspective,
Right. Well, you see all these things come together, and eventually it's usually the final product or the latter or last film is just kind of like a culmination of all these experiments along the way and all that, and it just gels together, and you get this one impressive piece of work, and you get to look back on the other films and say, that was fun. I remember learning from that experience, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's all learning. Everything you do is all like a learning experience, pretty much. I
think the coolest thing is that the original plan when I read the first one was to do what I'm doing for the second one, like a full-length film, as the first one instead of this 30-minute short. And because we started doing that, we had the script planned out, and we started filming it, and we got quite a fair bit done. And then we had some technical difficulties, and my computer broke down, and we lost almost all of the footage except for some that was backed up.
Oh, that's got to suck.
Yeah, and then so we were going to quit on the whole James Potter series. We were just going to say, okay, you know, it's so much effort, and we've lost all of it, so there's nothing we can do now, you know?
Yeah, that's, man.
And then we decided, I started talking to cast members, and they're like, we really want to do this, you know? I mean, we don't have that much time, but we really want to just, because we love the characters we're playing and we love doing this, that we just really want to continue it in some way that we can. So I wrote the short up, and I based it off the end part of the book, which was really condensed and changed a lot from the, I mean, it had some of the main things, but it got straight to the point, you know. There wasn't any little side stories or anything like that. It was just straight to this one part of the story and then over. But, I mean, it was really successful. I mean, on YouTube it has 11,000 views on the first part. So
you have overall a pretty positive fan reaction to your work.
Yeah, we do. I mean, I can't say it's negative when we have around 500 fans on our Facebook account. You know?
That's not too shabby.
Just trying to build that up, you know. And
there you go, man. Keep it going.
I think this film is going to attract a lot of fans. I mean, there's a lot of publicity getting out there through TV stations and local areas, and then online through, like, I don't know, websites. I Google it sometimes to see what I come up with in like certain articles and whatnot.
We even have the soundtrack on sale on Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh, cool! You guys you have that on there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's
Yes.
Do you want me to explain it, Isaiah? So you got it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It has 29 tracks on it, and it's over 79 minutes of music, which is really awesome. Which I am, I think, the only one who has a copy right now, because I got to get the proof so I can look it over and make sure it was all good. And it looks fantastic. I mean, it has all the covers in it. It talks about Isaias on the inside.
There's a nice, sexy picture of Isaiah in there.
I wish I have pictures of cast members. You know, I was talking to my dad when we were doing that, and I put a picture of him on the inside. And after I'd finalized it, my dad went, "You know, you should have put in a picture of Isaias in there." I was like, "Oh man, now I can't change it." You know. But,
all right. Well, you know, most composers don't have their picture on the soundtrack cover anyway, so.
But you guys are the humble creatures that just stand in the background and let your genius work. Just, do its thing.
Yeah, you know, we just watch from afar and just enjoy just.
Oh yeah, I did that shit. That was me.
It's. I mean, there's been so much work put into this. We have people working around the world on this project. We have tons of fans. We have our live premiere is being broadcasted on something called Livestream, which is like almost like your own online TV station.
Oh, cool.
And we've created an account, and we have it up on our Facebook and on our website. And we're going to have interviews on there, and we're going to get in contact with George and Isaias. And the person that's manning it is a guy from Germany, Tom Gray. He's going to be working on that and switching the cameras around and whatnot, because I'm going to be busy interviewing people, so I need someone to work on that. So he happily volunteered, and we did that. And then we have a lot of people. Well, I think 2 of our trailers are translated to Hungarian.
Wow!
By one of our fans, and then we have some Spanish-speaking people trying to get in contact and translate it to Spanish, put Spanish subtitles into it. I remember in the first one, we were trying. This is way back when we were still working on the full film. We were trying to get it to, you know, when you have those DVDs and you say, what language do you want? Oh, Spanish. And you click Spanish, and it has like the audio voiceover.
Right, or it has the subtitles, the hard subtitles or the soft subtitles. That's the industry terms.
We were trying to do that, but it didn't turn out, which is kind of a bummer. But I think in this one we're going to have more people working on that type of stuff.
It's just incredible. Like me and Chris, we get emails and the people are speaking in broken English, but just, you get the point. You know, it's like, I have good film. Please watch film. Yeah. You know, Batman, very good. You know, and then you put it on there, and their English isn't good, but Jesus, their films are. You know, it's pretty crazy. It's a universal language. A good fan film is a pretty universal thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's coming from fucking Russia, if it's coming from Cleveland, Ohio, or wherever it's coming from, bumblefuck somewhere. They're being created in basements and castles and mansions and two-family houses and garages and anywhere you could take a camera and film somebody doing something. There's a fan film going on. That's the beauty of it. You know, it's just limitless, and you know, and it's so much fun to just mess around with. You know,
I think the coolest part of a fan film is that it's all based around passion. I mean,
100%, yeah.
It's what you love, you know. Harry Potter, I love Harry Potter, and that's what I wanted to make a film on. And
you're a filmmaker, so so you got the two together. Not too bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Fun, not a bad day at the office.
Nope, not at all.
So what do you think there, Chris?
I think let's wrap her up.
Okay.
Plug yourselves and I go pass out.
Let's talk about this premiere again. If you can give us like maybe the URLs of the live events, if you have those, to pass along.
Okay. Well, the live premiere online will be on. We'll have interviews at 10 o'clock, but the live premiere will start at 12. You can find it on our Facebook at facebook.com/James Potter's Films. Or you could go to our website at wix.com/James Potter Films/home. And you can find it there, and we'll have a chat up, and you can talk to us and talk to the author and whatnot, and just have a fun time and enjoy this hard work that we put into this, and see our accomplishment right there in front of you.
Kellen, we should mention too the time changes because they're in New York and I'm in Toronto. So if it's 10 o'clock there in the morning, is that what you meant? 10 in the morning over there?
Mm-hmm. It's 10 o'clock. It'll be Pacific Standard Time. So whatever your time is in.
So I think we're 4 hours later. I think it's like around 1 o'clock or so. 1:30. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
1.
We're like this triad of confusion right now of times.
I know.
Yeah.
10 o'clock there, 11, 12, 1.
I still count on my hands, man. I'm befuddled. I don't know. 1, you could take the 2 and subtract it from 5, and then...
Hey, Kellen, if you can, send me that information through my email, and I'll put it up on the website there.
Same thing with me. If you need to, you can send it to fanboytheater@hotmail.com, and we both have our own fan film websites. So both, you know, we're competing for the top slot. It doesn't matter.
Mine's better.
Yeah, it is. You blew me out of the water. What can I say, Chris?
Being a dick. I'm being a dick.
You blew me out of the water, Chris. It's true. It's true, man. You did. You came along and you son of a bitch. Well. It was bound to happen. It was bound to happen.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
all right,
guys. That information.
Hey, it was a pleasure, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. It was
all right. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah. Totally.
Kellen, you owe Isaias a phone bill.
Wait, what did you say?
Yeah, I told Kellen that somebody's gonna have to cover my phone bill right now.
You're the producer, so that's all on you, Kellen.
We're gonna have to put you out on the corner, all right, for a little while. And
we'll probably get it out of
my
wallet.
We might get it out of the soundtrack sales if we make any. So
there you go. You use some of that. Use some of that Amazon cash.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. It was nice talking to you guys.
Yeah,
All right.
nice talking to you.
It's a pleasure, guys. I look forward to you seeing the premiere and seeing all that footage and everything.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
I'm sure it'll be worth the wait and worth the work for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, guys.
All right.
So you have a great evening or a day or whatever it is. Or
all right, I will talk to you later. I'll
keep in touch. You can shoot us emails, or you're more than welcome to come back on the show and talk about the premiere experience if you'd like and stuff like that. All right.
All right. Good night, guys.
All right, guys.
All right.
Be good. Bye.